Hey everyone, my name is Jamie Lee. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching this video today. Now today we're back with another Cupshe haul and review. Specifically today I've got a great selection of new bikinis, one pieces, I've got a cover up. We'll try all of it on together and hopefully I'll be able to help you decide if any of these might be suits that you want to pick up for any upcoming vacations ahead of the summertime. I know for me it feels very wishful thinking, like trying to think ahead to summer. I do have like a little cottagey vacation booked for the summer, but it's not until like the end of June, early July. So it's feeling very far away right now, but I'm definitely looking forward to having a couple of cute new suits for that little trip. I know a lot of people tend to book trips around like the March break time, spring vacations. So I thought that this was a great time for us to look at some new swim. Now I've tried tons of different suits from Cupshe on this channel. I really like this brand. They have very, very affordable swimwear and they have so many different styles that there's no way you won't find something that you like on their site. Just today alone, we are going to look at so many very different styles. Ones with more coverage, less coverage, high rise, low rise, full one pieces. And I really like that they have so much variety, lots of really trendy things like the trendy little like polka dot patterns, but also lots of things that are classics, solid colors. And I personally have been a Cupshe customer for a very long time. I bought my first swimwear from them like so long ago, probably 10 plus years ago at this point, and I still have those suits and they're still cute today. So they're definitely suits that even though they are quite affordable, they will also last you a long time, which obviously I really appreciate, especially at a time when everything is so expensive. Now, like always, as we go through the suits, I will list them in the description box in the order that I'm wearing them. I'll have the name, what color I got, what size I got, and a link to the specific suit. So if you do want to check any of them out, you can find all of that information down there. And of course, if you have any questions about anything, a specific suit, a style, let me know down in the comments. Really happy to answer them. So with that, let's jump right into the review with our first swimsuit. And I thought that this suit with like the black and white with the polka dots just looked really cute with these little gingham shorts that I just got from Old Navy. Linen shorts, so cute, perfect for the summer and great for throwing on over your swimwear. But yes, I just thought that this looked really cute together. All right, so this is our first little bikini. Obviously, we've got some polka dots. I always think that that is super cute. Now, this bikini is a little different than some of the other ones we're going to look at Cupshe because you buy both pieces in one size. So I got a size large in both pieces, which works okay for me, but just keep that in mind. There are other ones that we're going to take a look at where you can pick different sizes for the top and the bottom, but you still only pay the one price, which I really appreciate that with Cupshe. You can get the matching suit with pieces in different sizes, but just know what you're paying up front. You're not like searching through the website for the matching top or bottom. Now, obviously this one does have the very cute little polka dot print. I absolutely love a polka dot, and in particular, I love black with white polka dots. I think that it just looks really cute. Now, the top on this is actually excellent if you do require like a bit more support and you have a larger chest because it ties at the back. So you can really adjust this. I'm realizing I did it a little bit off center, but you can really adjust this to whatever band size that you need. And that does help to give you a little bit of extra support and make sure that you really feel secure in here. Now, it obviously has this little extra cutout detail in the center that does have like a wire, so that will actually stay in place. And this is still like a fairly minimal top, like minimal coverage. I have like a tiny bit of underboob peeking out the bottom, but not so much that I think that it looks bad or anything, or like it looks super inappropriate. The straps on this are a little bit wider. They kind of cut up to be wider towards the top, which I think looks very cute. But do keep in mind that these straps are not adjustable. It's just the band that is adjustable on this one. And then the bottoms for this, obviously quite low rise. Honestly, a little more low rise than what I would usually go for, but I do think that they look very cute. They do cut up a little bit higher towards the side, and obviously you could hike these up even higher if you wanted them to be, but I think that they look quite cute. And there's a little bit of ruching on these straps on the sides here. It's kind of hard to tell because obviously it is like a busier pattern, but I do think that that adds like just a little extra something. And then this one I would say is like a fairly low coverage option for a bikini. Obviously not coming up very high at the back, cutting in fairly far on the bum, but still something that I think would be appropriate for most things that I would personally go to. And definitely super cute. Once again, love the polka dots. You'll have to let me know how you like this one, but I think it's definitely a winner. All right, next up we have this one piece that is one of my favorite color combinations of all time, which is of course pink and red. I think that they just look so cute together, and I'm filming this shortly before Valentine's Day, so I'm definitely in the like pink and red mood right now. I love this suit. I think that it is so unbelievably cute. Obviously, the bottom half here, we have basically like your standard one piece, a little bit more high cut on the leg. I know I sound like a broken record, but that does help to elongate your legs a little bit and make them look a little longer. So if you're somebody that sometimes feels like your legs look a little stubby in swimsuits, especially ones that come across here, worth trying something that cuts up just a little bit further. And you can see that this one still has like plenty of coverage, so it's not like it cuts up and lacks coverage as a result in the crotch area. And then as we come towards the top here, we have almost like a bow looking detail that looks very bandeau-like, but we do still have the tiny little straps, which is just enough for me that I don't feel like this is going to slip down. Unlike a lot of strapless options, like I personally don't think I've ever liked a strapless swimsuit. I'm just always afraid that they're gonna fall down. This, you have the straps, you're secure, you're good. And we've got kind of like this little peekaboo cutout in the center here. Now, I was a little bit concerned that my chest wouldn't actually fit in here, but I think that it's fitting fine. I have just a little bit of support, a little bit of lift in here, just enough that I think I could wear this for a long time without it feeling uncomfortable on my neck or shoulders. The straps on this are adjustable, so you can adjust them to kind of help hike things up a little bit if you need. And then this one is also a pretty full coverage across the bum. So if you are looking for a suit, maybe you're going to go do something with your in-laws, or there's going to be little kids around and you want something that's a little higher coverage, this could potentially be a good option for that. And of course, like I said, I just love the colors of this. They're so vibrant. I think this is really pretty. And I do like a one piece and having a few different one piece options to bring with me on vacation, because you just never know what you're going to be doing. And if I am going to be like actually swimming or actually doing like some kind of intense activity, I personally want a one piece over a little tiny bikini any day. And this one almost gives me like pinup vibes slightly. So definitely a humongous fan of this option. All right, next up we've got another little bikini option. This time we've got the kind of little stripes going on in a beige and a brown. I thought that this colorway was really cute. I also love a stripe, something a little unique, a little different. And if you want different, this one also has this little metal piece in the center here with the little pearl. I thought that that was quite cute. Once again, we have the little straps that kind of start out skinnier and get wider up on the shoulders, so they feel really secure, comfortable up there. I feel like I'm ever so slightly busting out of the top of this bikini top, but not so badly that I wouldn't be able to wear it. Like sometimes I try on a top and I'm like, there's no way I can wear this. I'm not finding that here, but it definitely is on the smaller side. Now this one does have adjustable straps and it also has an adjustable band, so there are 3 different lengths that you can choose from. And then these bottoms, obviously slightly higher in the center. I would consider this more of like a mid-rise versus those first polka dot ones that came a lot lower. Once again, it comes up slightly higher on the legs. You could obviously move this around if you wanted it more of like a standard bikini, or if you wanted it way higher, you could hike it up. And this one is a fairly full coverage at the back, which I think sometimes can be harder to find for a cute bikini to also have like a bit more bum coverage. And I don't know if this bikini is my style as much as the other 2 suits that we've looked at so far, but I do think that it's cute. Once again, I think it's unfortunate that the cups are just lacking in a tiny bit of space to really like fit my chest properly, but they do also make some like double D plus bikini options at Cupshe where you can get tops in both like a regular small, medium, large, whatever, but also in like a medium double D as an example that can fit like a bigger chest. I didn't get any of those today, but I have tried them in the past, and I do wonder if I should do a whole video just on some of the extended bust sizing bikini at Cupshe at some point. So if you'd be interested in that, let me know and we can try them out. All right, next up, kind of keeping with that like brown beige theme, I got this suit with this geometry geometric pattern. It also has this extra like gold piece in the center that I thought was super cute. And I feel like this suit is gorgeous. I really, really like it. Once again, we have the straps that are nice and wide. This time they kind of crisscross in the center and then you tie them at the back. That way it is still pretty adjustable in terms of how tight you want this, how much you want things lifted. And I do feel like I'm getting pretty good support out of it and things look lifted. Once again, we have a little cutout under the bust, which I think looks really cute. And I think that this is fitting really well. It's super comfy. It's nice and soft. And this one is a little bit more of like a medium coverage, not quite as full as some of the other suits that we've looked at, but also not like super skimpy either. I think that it looks great. And I do feel like anything with that tie back, if you have a larger bust or a much smaller bust, it can just be helpful versus a standard suit that doesn't have a lot of adjustment, because you really can change that to be as tight or as loose as you need it to be. And I always find that they end up looking really flattering on the chest because they do kind of fit perfectly every time. So this one for me, once again, definitely love it. And I feel like my preference for one pieces is really coming through because all of the one pieces so far I have absolutely loved, but we'll see if that continues. All right, next we got a little floral bikini. This time you can see we do have some underwire on here and we have more of a high-waisted option because I did want to show that you can get like ultra low rise, super skimpy, you can get medium rise, high rise. Really, Cupshe has absolutely everything. Now, unfortunately, this top does not really work for my chest size at all. It's a little too small in the cups. The underwire stops too early. I would need it to come a little bit further out. And this center gore portion is not sitting like fully flush against my chest because it's getting like lifted off because there's not enough space in here. And then once again, this top is fairly adjustable. It does have the ties on the side that are true ties for you to tie these straps. And then it does also have 3 different lengths of band options. Unfortunately, it's still a little bit loose for me, even on the tightest band setting. This is unfortunately the reality of having like a smaller band size and a larger cup size. Some suits just won't work for you, and that's why I like to try them so that you don't have to. Now the bottom on this one, you can see comes up fairly high. It has some extra fabric here that you just kind of ruche up, which I think is nice. And this one is once again a fairly full coverage at the back. And unfortunately, the top just doesn't fit quite right on this one for me. I do think that the floral pattern is very pretty, but I don't think I'd be able to wear this suit because it just doesn't quite fit. All right, next up we've got a halter top style one piece. I always feel like a halter looks really cute, and I do love a plunging deep V in my one pieces. I think that it's really pretty. So this suit is like a true halter tie, so you are tying it up behind the neck. You can see this one does come a little bit lower across the hips. It's not cutting up quite as high as what I usually go for, which I do think makes my torso look longer and my legs look shorter, but you'll have to let me know if you agree. Now this suit is interesting because it has these mesh sections and then little like more opaque sections. So obviously this top portion, the bottom portion, fully opaque, and then there are kind of like the little peekaboo mesh areas. And this suit is also kind of interesting because it is fitting like a little bit big, like it's just a tiny bit loose, especially towards the center here. And I think that actually just has to do with me having a pretty short torso, so the suit isn't like hitting as much space as it probably should be. Now obviously we've got our little charm in the center here. I think that that's cute. There is padding in here, but you're obviously not getting like lift or support from this style of top. Things are kind of just sitting where they are and then getting like squished a little bit to keep them in place. I do feel like I'm pretty secure in here. Like I don't feel like I'm at risk of a nip slip necessarily. And then this one is pretty full coverage at the back, probably the most full coverage that we've seen actually. And I do feel like this one is pretty cute. It's definitely giving me slight like early 2000s vibes for some reason, especially with like it being lower across here, having like that mesh cutout in the center. And they did also send over a little cover up. So this is obviously just a little, you tie it on one side, it's kind of open so you get that slit. It has the ruffle all around it and it is like a maxi length. Definitely cute, simple, something that you could bring. You can throw it on if you're like going to the bathroom or going up to the bar to get a drink. And because it does kind of have that slit and the ruffle, it will flow out behind you, which would look quite cute walking down the beach. And they sell their cover-ups in like a wide variety of colors as well. And they have a bunch of different styles like skirts such as this one. They have dresses, they have like little rompers, all kinds of stuff. So I definitely recommend checking that out as well if you are getting a couple of swimsuits. All right, and for our last bikini style before we get into our last one piece, we have this little like coral pink option that has the darker purplish magenta straps and the little ties on the side. I love a bikini that has ties. I feel like it just makes them fit so perfectly every time. I like how it looks, and I think that this one is super cute. So these bottoms, obviously a much lower rise. They do have those ties on the side, and they're pretty cheeky at the back. Definitely quite cheeky, but I feel like they fit great and they look very, very cute. And this fabric is almost like a crochet over top of like a standard swimsuit fabric, which I thought was kind of cool. And then this top from the front looks like it's like a pretty like standard bikini top, but she is very strappy from the back. So we've got this teeny tiny little strap. This is an adjustable band. We have the adjustable straps coming up, crisscrossing at the back to attach in at the front. But then we actually do have decent cup coverage in the front here. So I am pleasantly surprised with this one. Once again, I don't usually go for like a lower rise bikini, but I think that this one's quite cute. I really like the color of it. It's definitely feeling like super tropical to me, but you'll have to let me know how you like this one. And then last but certainly not least, we have this brown, once again with quite a deep V in the front. A little bit different than that black option though. This one is not a halter. It just has your standard straps here, which are also adjustable as you can see at the back. And this one has this like very firm wire that's kind of doing this. And this one also has this firm piece of wire to hold this V as it's kind of sitting, as you see there. I think that that looks really cute. I like how this is looking on the chest. I will say I'm definitely at more risk of nip slips in this one than I was in the black one because of how a halter like comes straight up and then goes around your neck. So it's pulling inwards and upwards. This one, because it has the straps, if one of these for whatever reason slipped off your shoulder, you're out in the wind. But I do think that it looks really pretty. Now I am noticing that this side in particular wants to like roll under. So the fabric on the inside is kind of showing, which is like a beige color instead of the brown. So if that's something that would really annoy you, you might even want to consider sizing up one extra size in this one. I believe I'm wearing a medium in this. In the large, I do think I would have had just a little bit more cup space, so probably that wouldn't have been happening so much. Something to keep in mind. And then this one, probably like a medium to full coverage at the back. It cuts up a little bit higher, so you do have a bit more of that like side of your leg and side of your bum, but it's not like it cuts super far in the center and looks like a thong or anything. And I feel like this is super cute. I always say that I prefer brown as a neutral on myself over black. I'm not sure why, but I find black looks like very harsh on me, and maybe nobody else would ever notice that, but I feel like I do. Like, I just don't love how it looks on me as much as I like how brown looks. But do know that most of the swimsuits at Cupshe are available in multiple different colors or patterns. If you are looking for like a black suit, a brown suit, like something specific, you can filter for just that, which can definitely help you find something that you'll love. And with that, those are all of the different suits that we had to try today. Tons of different styles. You'll have to let me know which ones were your favorite. I think for me, I loved the polka dots. I loved that pink and red suit. And I also really loved the one that was like the geometric black, beige, and brown. I thought that that one was just gorgeous. But we definitely had a lot of very cute suits today, which is always really nice. And a huge thank you to Cupshe for sending these suits. I love being able to try stuff on. I love being able to give my honest opinion, and I feel like they just really helped me make that happen. And like always, thank you so much for watching this video today. And a humongous thank you to the members of this channel. I have a few members now. I really appreciate that. I am going to add something to the end card of all of my videos to just thank all of my members. I really appreciate that you're supporting me. And with that, I hope that you have a fabulous day and that I'll see you next time. Bye!